So welcome to Blake's Den and welcome to Project Design episode 3. So I haven't made much progress in the past few days. It's been a bit cold to go in the garage. But what I have been working on tonight is sorting out the driver's side floor. So if you can remember, there was quite an indentation in the floor. You sort of look over the passenger side, you probably can't quite pick it up, but there's a distinct depression in the floor where someone's tried to jack the floor from this area here, and obviously we've only been thin metal, the floor's just give way. So I wanted to pull that out and straighten it out the best I could before I welded on the inner sill I've cut off. And particularly, say, I've got a very uneven cut along here, so I need to straighten it up. So I was trying various different techniques with clamps, but the most success I found was I managed to get a G clamp, and I managed to take out the drain plug hole, and managed to get that G clamp up in there. I probably can't get it in right now because I've since subsequently tidied up that hole. Put a block of wood either side, and then using a long piece of wood braced against the wheel arch. I just applied some moment to it, just levering it, and it went, you hear it go ping, and then it would ping back again. And I just took it just far enough, boom, it just stayed there and it stayed solid. So it's still not perfect, it's still a bit of a crest in it, but I'm happy with that. It's a lot better than it was. The drain plug, there we are. Probably needs to go back in. It's not great, but so that goes back in there like that. And obviously I'll clean it all up before I finish it off properly. So now I need to sort out this edge. I want to get this edge as straight and as level as I can, and I'm aiming to achieve that using again using some pieces of wood, sort of clamp them up underneath, clamp another piece of wood on top, and then get it nice and straight and smooth, and then I can cut off the new inner sill and prepare that for welding in situ. So I've been making some good progress on the sill. This is the repair panel lined up, ready for welding. Cleaned up around the edges of it. I've still got a little bit more cleaning up to do, and I've seen to clean the panel itself, but I've sort of been trial fitting it, and yeah, I'm quite fairly happy with that, how it looks. That's it from the other side. So there's a few little gaps, but nothing that bit of weld and a bit of seam seal I won't sort out. I'd say I've deliberately cut off the part of the panel which went along here. That's because I want to do this bit separately. So the inner sill included this bit and a bit beyond it, but if you look on the other side, there's quite a large section around the jacking point which I'll have to fabricate up. So this bit here wasn't included in the sill panel, nor was this bit. So I want to get this bit in first, add some strength to the car, and then I should have left enough room, I reckon, and I've already done some cutting, to cut this panel out, and cut this panel out, and then fabricate those up and put those in. So I think it's a trial fit. I'm quite happy with that. It'll need a bit of tacking in and just knocking into position for some of the corners. But yeah, quite happy with that. The outer sill seems to fit over it as well, which is good. So next job is just to finish getting this panel cleaned up and getting the edges cleaned up, and then yeah, ready for a bit of welding. Okay, so I think we're ready to do some welding now. I've connected the earth up of the welder through the drain hole in the floor. I'll see how that goes. I might have to move it to a bolt on this cross member. My welder I've got, it's a snap-on welder, MIG welder, 150 amps. I've had it a while. It's not the best, but it's certainly not the worst welder, so it does the job. It's actually built by an Italian company called Sill, I believe. I use BOC Argo Shield gas, and I've got 0.6mm wire which I'm using, which works for me, so it does the job. I'm not a professional welder, far from it. I'm just someone who's done a little bit of welding in the past. I've welded up a rusty car before, so this setup seems to work well for me. So to actually weld it, I'm going to start tacking the metal in various places, and then I'm going to come back and then start another tack next to it, let go of the trigger, move the welder a small amount, fire it up again before that weld pool is cooled fully, and I can build up a continuous weld that way. Now, I've used that technique before and it seems to work well for me. The other technique is you tack it, go back next to it, tack it again, go to the next one, tack, 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 and then just keep going back, and so you build up a series of tacks. But the first method seems to work for me, so right, I'll fire up the welder and see how it goes. So I've got the welding sort of complete along here. It's taken quite a few attempts. Wasn't really happy with the weld, wasn't really happy with my technique. Ran out of gas, and then had to get some more weight and get some more gas. But anyway, that's in, and that's solid, so I'm happy with that. I might clean up some more bits and touch it up a bit more yet. Made a bit of progress. Look underneath with the taking out the jacking point. So obviously that's a new inner sill, nice and solid. So we had this crusty jacking point. Just put it on the floor there to show you. Very poor condition. Lots of corrosion on it. So bought a new pair of Heritage jacking points. It's actually the other side, isn't it? That's one. It's the right hand side. So I've got to get these on the car. Now they go on roughly here, but I'm conscious that this hole here on the jacking point needs to line up with that hole there on the outer sill. So if you remember right at the back to start, one of the very early videos, I took a reference dimension, which I've still got on my board here. So I know that from the end of the sill, sort of a wheel arch, it was 370 to the edge of the jacking hole. So what I'm going to do is that new jacking point, I'm going to actually weld this onto a new plate off the car. Left to right, yeah, and weld it onto a new plate off the car. And then I'm going to have that plate slightly oversized, so then I can place that plate on the back of the box section. There's no repair panel for that, or I haven't got a repair panel for that anyway. Then I can position that and then roughly get it lined up with that hole on the sill. I can tack the plate in position and then do a trial fit of the sill, and hopefully it's alright. If it's not, I can then just move it. I think that's probably going to be, I'll probably have to do a full separate video on that because that's quite an involved process. But so the next step is sort of getting my plate in, getting the another bit of the inner sill repaired along here, which was gone, and then I need to work out what I'm doing along here. I think that's quite crusty. That's something I'm probably going to cut big chunks of that out. But at the top here, it's not too bad. It looks probably a lot worse in the video, but it's actually quite solid and it's cleaned up quite well. So yeah, again, I don't want to work on my philosophy of not cutting too much out in one go. I think I'll probably do a bit more work around here, tidying this up, and then I'll cut some more out along here. So, if you're watching this, the video has jumped forwards by about 3 months, if not a little bit longer. I haven't really done anything on the car during that time. I've been quite unwell. And it's been very difficult to motivate myself to get in, even to do little jobs. Anyway, how we left the last video was me saying that that piece there was fine. Relatively fine, but the seatbelt mounting point, upon investigation, was really badly corroded. So I've cut all that out. So if we have a look at the sill now, from underneath, we have a big hole there, all the way along. And then from the inside, there we are, another big hole. I had actually welded a piece in around here, just to try and keep some strength in the body shell before I cut this out, which I think was actually a good idea. it means there's going to be another seam in it, but this is all going to be seam sealed. It's all going to be ground flat. It's all going to be under the carpet and under insulation anyway, so I'm not too fussed by that. Another thing was, I wasn't too happy with the welding, the quality of the welding, and the quality of the welder, and I mean that in both senses of the term. So both my technique and the equipment I was using. So in my time off, I've taken a bit of time out and practiced how to weld a bit more, done some test pieces, and I've also splashed out and bought myself a new welder, a new Artec 180 MIG. It's light and day ahead of the snap-on MIG. The quality of it's great. It's infinitely variable voltage and wire speed. It's just, first time I had a go of it, it was just spot on, just welding perfectly. So I'm going to use this for the first time in anger on the car. I'm going to weld in that sill piece. So the next clip in the video, I'll hopefully have it tacked in. So there we are, that's the inner sill panel tacked in. Did a little bit of extra welding when I was down there, just because I could. I don't think the welder was quite right settings for gas. I think I had the gas too low. It's tacked in now, so next job is to weld all round, clean it all up and see how it looks. We've got our panel welded in fairly neatly, I think. I've ground back the weld. It's still not perfect, but it's certainly a lot better. Still probably a couple of little bits to go over there with the grinder. So yeah, quite happy with that, quite happy with the fit. Yeah, it's alright really. So I've still got a few jobs to do around here. I need to fabricate up the extensions which go on the cross member and put the jack and point back on. I've got to put the seatbelt reinforcement plate in, and then I need to investigate this part of the sill, inner sill, find out what's going on with that. It's a bit under the companion box, it looks a bit ropey the further I get back, so I might have to just patch some of that up. And also when I'm in the area, I've got bits like the doorstep to start looking at as well. So I think that's a good place to leave this video. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Blake's Den for more videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram too. Stay tuned for more Project Designer.